The newest Pokemon Direct or Pokemon Presents is just hours away, and I have some new news for you guys, and maybe even a leak for what the Direct entails. Let's take a look.
Butterfree, go!
Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are going to dive into this Pokemon Presents that is taking place tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys continue the action live on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/aDrive, where I'm going to be actually live streaming the Direct or Pokemon Presents with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. In this video, I'm going to break down a bit of news that actually trickled throughout the day today, as well as a brand new rumor that has surfaced that may be a leak of what the Direct presentation is going to be. Now, I do want to urge you guys a ton of caution. This is a post on the internet. There is no proof behind this outside of the fact that it's gaining a lot of traction and it seems relatively plausible. So before we go any further, I do just want to throw that disclaimer out there. But we're gonna have some fun talking about it nonetheless, and I want you guys to hit that like button down below if you guys enjoy this one, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as I post Pokemon videos every single day, and you don't want to miss the Pokemon news that's throwing down for Pokemon Day this weekend, as well as this Pokemon Presents tomorrow. Now, some people were a little confused, myself included, honestly, about Pokemon Direct versus Pokemon Presents. The gist is a Pokemon Direct focuses primarily on the Nintendo Switch and the main series games there, whereas a Pokemon Presents is actually going to encompass a wider net in the Pokemon franchise, which means we can very much so see a bunch of things like merchandise, Pokemon spin-off games like Unite, and much, much more. So that's the differentiation between the two. So anyone looking for a Pokemon Direct, well, we're gonna get basically that and then some tomorrow in this 20+ minute presentation, which happens to be one of the longest presentations we've seen for this kind of thing. In fact, Joe Merrick actually broke out the times going back to 2013, and with the exception of the 2013 Direct, which was 19 minutes and a half roughly, this is really the longest one. There was one in 2020 that was about 20 minutes as well. However, having a 20-minute plus presentation here, this is pretty long, so I guaranteed it's gonna be action-packed for the 25th year anniversary of Pokemon. Before I jump into this though, I want to tell you guys about a couple little things. One, there's a brand new mystery gift Pikachu you guys can grab with the code P25music with a 1 instead of an I for music. You can grab that and grab a special Pikachu right now that has the move Sing. Previously, Pikachu and Raichu did not have Sing, and while it's not all that good, it could be used in competitive. Good luck hitting the Sing in the first place, but if you can put something to sleep, it might not be bad in VGC. Joe Merrick is also reporting on a handful of different merchandise coming out in the US and Canada, including this incredible Pokemon 25 light up sign and also the die-cast Master Ball. We saw that this company actually came out with a die-cast Pokeball a few months ago for pre-order, and now they've announced a Master Ball. I believe there's only like 5,000 units of these that are available for pre-order. Actually, I'll just check right now. My guess is that they're sold out at this point. It is sold out at this point, so sorry about that, but there's a ton of other merchandise in these pictures that you could look forward to as we move forward here for the 25th anniversary, maybe as soon as tomorrow. The Pokemon Unite beta invitation is actually officially out, and people in Canada are able to get this. It says calling all Canadian trainers. While the game is being planned to release for Apple or Android devices and Switch, this is for Android devices. It's only in Canada. You have to be 16 and up, and you reset your player's progress, and they said that you're not allowed to film or stream any of this gameplay. Interesting stuff. So if you're in Canada, keep an eye out for this invitation. Otherwise, use a VPN and you can use an Android device to access the beta most likely. Otherwise, you didn't hear that from me. Central Pokemon Leaks, who has been kind of leading the charge of this leak system here, has come out and said that, hey, we're not going to spoil any more about the Pokemon Presents tomorrow. If, like last week's Direct, contents are leaked by a known insider, we'll put them in an external link with a spoiler warning. And then they further answer another person and say, you will get your Sinnoh remake. Isn't that enough? So Central, again, doubling down on this Sinnoh remake, which they've been kind of talking about for a really long time now. They've been calling it back in January and before, so they seem really focused on the fact that their insiders have told them that we are indeed going to the Sinnoh region regardless. Now, the next thing I want to mention is earlier today, I told you guys that Malone released his song, and you guys can actually listen to it yourself if you want. One thing I found interesting is as people dove into it, at the very beginning of the song, it utilizes a track from a previous Pokemon game, and that Pokemon game was the Johto region, Gold and Silver, and there's music from Ecruteak City at the very beginning of this Post Malone song. I'm not gonna go down this conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but ultimately what we can conclude is that Post Malone's song has Johto music in it. Does that have anything to do with anything? Probably not, but maybe it does. I don't know. And now it's time to jump into the reason that you're probably here, and that is this new rumor that has just surfaced. It's posted about an hour ago at the time of me recording this, and I've been tagged in this dozens and dozens, maybe even 100 times on Twitter. It's ridiculous. People think that this could be realistic and could be real. And again, urge a ton of caution here. Do not get your hopes set too high headed into tomorrow. Ultimately, we do not know what is going to happen. This very well could be fake. Let's take a look. The first thing they state is that it's about 21 minutes or so, and it starts off with an introduction that's going to go from 0 minutes to 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Then there's going to be a Pokemon Unite update from 321 to 526, potentially talking about the beta, maybe some new gameplay, maybe talking about the different skins that we've seen leaked a little bit here and there. Then it's going to talk about a Pokemon Go celebration event, which is very feasible that we get something in Pokemon Go that's going to go on for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, talk about a new Pokemon Go event. Then it talks about Pokemon Sleep for about 2.5 minutes. We haven't heard anything about Pokemon Sleep in quite a while, so it is possible that we hear something there. Then it talks about a Pokemon Switch port for Generation 1 to 3 that goes on for another 2 minutes. Now, a lot of the rumors have speculated that there was not going to be a Master Collection or a Switch port, but this is stating that it could happen, and I'm still open-minded for that to happen. It is very possible that we do get a Nintendo Switch port for some of the original Game Boy games and beyond onto the Nintendo Switch. Again, don't get your hopes set too high, but it's not outside of the question. Then they go talk about P25 music, which is what that Pikachu was at the beginning of this video, and the fact that Katy Perry, Post Malone, and maybe more artists are going to be involved in this Pokemon 25 expression of music. Then it talks about Pokemon Masters from 1428 to 1653. Then it goes on to discuss some of the merchandise for the next couple minutes, which is potentially some of the stuff I showed you earlier in this video that Joe reported on. Some of that 25th anniversary merch, like the die-cast Pokeball and Master Ball, some of that stuff. There's some really cool stuff out there. And then it goes on to say Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes with a twist from 1959 to 2115. What does this all mean? Well, it could mean nothing. This could just be some guy on the internet making up something just to get some attention on the internet. Or it could be the leak of what is to come for tomorrow's Pokemon Presents. I ultimately don't know, but at first glance at this, it certainly looks like it very well could be feasible. I've got my expectations set pretty low at this point. What I am expecting tomorrow, my honest thoughts, is a lot of the things that we see in this. Covering Pokemon Unite, covering Pokemon Go, maybe a mention to Pokemon Sleep, talking about some of the merchandise. I think there could be a big highlight of the TCG as well. Pokemon is smart. They recognize the TCG is in a very good spot right now in terms of hype and interest. I can see them trying to capitalize on this Presents with that. And then ultimately, I do genuinely believe that we are going to get a Sinnoh announcement, or at the very least a teaser. I'm not expecting gameplay, to be honest. I'm expecting logos, and maybe that's it. I think best case scenario, we get a Let's Go Johto and a Sinnoh game. I wouldn't expect that, to be honest. I think that's a little much, but there's also the chance that there's some information about a Detective Pikachu game, and maybe a couple other things. Maybe we'll see Pokemon Snap or something else, but we did just get info on Snap not too long ago. So this is some pretty interesting stuff. I'm gonna pass the ball to you guys. What do you think about this? Do you believe this to be real? Do you believe it to be fake? We're only a few hours away, so we're gonna find out either way. And remember, you can join my stream at twitch.tv/aDrive. Tomorrow morning, I'll be live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the 10 a.m. Eastern Time presentation of Pokemon Presents. Watch it live with the aDrive Army. We're gonna have a blast. We always have a great time with our launch parties, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Again, I just wanna stress one more time, this information is not confirmed. It is simply rumor and speculation, so don't get too carried away. I recommend and suggest going into tomorrow with cautious optimism. Get excited, get on the hype train, but don't set yourself up to be let down too hard if they don't come through. I'm not expecting, like I said, full-blown gameplay or anything. I think they're gonna tease some logos and that'll be the end of it. But we'll see what happens. That's gonna be it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this one, smash that like button. I know you guys did. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, as I do post Pokemon videos every single day. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this video, you should check out this one right here. We're talking more Pokemon news. Otherwise, this one's pretty sweet, and YouTube thinks you should check that one out. Subscribe here, and have yourself a great day.